started. Whenever bored, you dudes in the latest news. Complex and interesting, take the time out to invest in straight talk wrestling. Get the facts, get the tables, get the
Hey guys, what's going on? It's host your boy George Mackay, just a few days out from Slammiversary, and I have a very special guest returning to Straight Talk Wrestling, the French-Canadian Frankenstein himself, PCO. How are you, sir?
I am great. What about you?
I can't complain. I'm sitting down with arguably a Canadian wrestling legend, and a pro wrestling legend in my own right. 56 years old, still going strong. What makes PCO so different that at this age he could still go and tear the house down and put your body on the line like you do all the time? You really are a Frankenstein.
Yeah, but I'm also like I'm super passionate about it. Like sometimes like I thought I'm not so passionate about it, but then when I really look at it and all the sacrifices I made in this business and everything that I left behind me, that I really let go just for this business, and especially having a show in Montreal, and the way I took this to my heart very seriously. Like I slept maybe 2 hours, like 2-3 hours per night. That's it. That's all I was doing. It's media tour, going across, meeting people, going to wrestling shows, meeting fans, signing out pictures for free, just to connect with the fans, just so they get to know me. And then I wasn't even wrestling on those shows. It was just promotional tour and inviting people to the Verdun Auditorium for Slammiversary. And I hit some walls sometimes. Like, it was hard. I was grinding, and that's when I realized how passionate I was about it, because a lot of people didn't believe that it was possible to pack 4,000 people in just a couple of months, because we had the date so late, So it's not like we had a year to promote this. It was like 8 months of promotion compacted in 2 months. And it's going to be like crazy. We're going to turn people away at the door. It's going to be jam packed. And I'm sure it's going to be one of the highest rated. Like, as far as rating goes, I wouldn't be surprised if it beats a lot of because it's the quickest sellout, fastest sellout, biggest house, and biggest also gate in 10 years. So it's like four records in 10 years, if not more. We got to look at the viewerships and things like that after the aftermath. So, but that's how I know I was passionate. And sometimes you don't realize how passionate you are until you do something that shows that you are passionate, that proves to yourself that you are so passionate about something.
I love that. I love that. That's a great answer. And speaking of passion, right now you and Steph DeLander, there's a lot of passion. There's a lot of everything going on. And I have to ask, this could lead potentially, from what I'm thinking, and even Steph DeLander herself agrees, because she had an article on Fight earlier today drop. You guys could culminate in a wedding. This could be a wrestling wedding, which we have not had one of those in some time. Is that exciting? What does the wedding to the French-Canadian Frankenstein look like in your eyes? Are we going to have a lot of electrical bulbs? Are we going to have a lot of switches? Like, what's going to happen?
Well, I think, I don't want to say too much about it. I want to get the people to be excited about it, because, everybody was like very, very entertained by our first date. And I gotta say, I mean, I fell for her on the beach, that was, of course, I kind of saved her life, and that kind of speeds up things, like that helps a lot. Like, but we connected with the electricity between us, and then I guess the results are pretty amazing so far, and we'll see how far we can go together. But so far, I think we're selling a lot of shirts, and and we're making a lot of people happy.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I mean, it's just we were having some talk, you know, with some of TNA Creative, and someone said in a couple of months it's going to be the oddest story in pro wrestling, and I think every time there's something comes out, whether it's her talking to me at the beach or whatever, you know, whatever it is, like me giving her a dark black rose and things like that, or a love letter.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has been thrilled with it, and it's hard to know what's next, where they're going with it, what's going to happen, and it just trickles your mind, you know. It's just like, okay, what's trying to guess, you know.
I love
I
that.
think
Absolutely.
that's amazing.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm okay with you not giving too much away because I want to just continue to be entertained, which is what's happening. But I got to ask you this. AJ Francis, Digital Media
Yeah,
Championship, International Heavyweight Championship on the line, Slammiversary. That hometown crowd is going to be fully behind the French Canadian Frankenstein, and you are going to be able to shut AJ Francis up and get those two
yeah,
titles. I know you will.
yeah.
AJ
But
Francis,
you know, he's a big mouth. He's cocky. He's
absolutely
arrogant.
huge
But
mouth.
in real life, I mean, he walks around in the back saying like, "Hey, listen, you know, we, uh, me and PCO, we're drawing the biggest crowd ever, you know, in the last 10 years." It's like, just shut up. You don't want to get eat with everybody. What's the matter with you? Just you know, it's the cameras are on right now, you know. So
Yeah.
he's just just full of himself, and he takes this thing like very seriously, and I just can't wait to shut him up and just teach him a little lesson about humility, you know.
Absolutely. I know you will. And I will be cheering from you from right here in Brampton.
I hope so.
I
I
already
hope
got my
so.
Slammiversary package purchased. I am so ready to watch it. The family, we're ordering pizza, the whole 9 yards. But I got to ask you this.
Oh,
Having the history with WWE and now having the partnership with WWE and having some people going over to NXT and the talent being shared and stuff like that, could we possibly see PCO, this version of PCO back in a WWE ring?
I think the day you see that, I think the roof will go off the building. I mean, that'll
Yep.
be pretty amazing. That'll be crazy. I guess, yeah. I guess I've got a strong feeling it's gonna happen. Uh, I don't know why. It's just I've always been like very super close to uh to guessing a little bit. I don't know how things are gonna happen. I never know how. Like when I decided to stay with TNA, like I was not supposed to stay, and I had that conversation with Scott before he got fired, and I don't know, for whatever reason he convinced me to stay, and he had like planned for Montreal, and then after that, the month that it was supposed to be on didn't happen, and then it came back. And the way it's happening now, it's like, okay, now I know why I've been with TNA for the last 3 years. And now everything was aligned for this. The international heavyweight title on the line, too, the great lineage and the TV media titles and all that on the line. It's so much on the line, and in front of my people. So it's a great opportunity to showcase more layers of the character, more more stuff that people haven't seen, and just also more things that we haven't tapped into. And I just feel it's a very there's a lot of potential in that character, and we're about to see it this weekend. Like we've never seen it before.
Ooh, I just
So
got chills. I got chills. I
yeah,
cannot wait to see what you
super
got.
pumped, super pumped. And actually, it's happening in just a few days, and I'm so focused that I don't even realize. I know it's in about 3 days or something like that. I'm so focused about it that I don't really think about it. I'm so focused. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
I get it. I get it. You got the focused on making sure that you do everyone in your hometown proud, but also making sure you put on a great show and everything about just being in the moment as well. You want to sit there and relish the moment. You can't tell me that when PCO comes out, you're not going to sit there with 4,000 plus French Canadian fans screaming their heads off. You're going to soak it in. You're going to stop for a few seconds. And I actually think you might break character, PCO. I think we might see a little something trickle down your cheek. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I've been pretty good at keeping all my emotions like, stacked under my throat. Basically, they don't come up, because I'm just doing like one task after one task, and just very often, one person will do something very special to help me out, do something with me, and then I would start see the emotion coming up a little bit, and then I could cut it off. So that will be really, really special if we see something like that. I don't know. We'll see. I know I'm gonna take a few seconds to really like let that moment sink in and really let it like appreciate that moment, and make it like one of the greatest souvenir in my entire career. Because I've done tons of show in Montreal. I've done championship match with WWE and WWF, and sometimes we didn't have 4,000 people. So this is a great one for me. I mean, I've done one where we had 21,000, 18,500 people, something like that. And I've done sold out crowds before, but I've also done like crowds with major like WWE and where it wasn't that packed. So it's it's a huge crowd, and that's we'll see how I'm going to be affected by it, like affected positively about it.
100%, 100%. And my final question: when you look at your career and you look at everything you've done and everything you've been through, and the cities you traveled to, the fans you've met, the people whose lives you've touched, myself included, I was a huge fan of the Quebecers. Okay, I was a huge fan of everything that you got, the Mounties, all that stuff. I loved everything you did. I loved everything you did at the Indies. I loved everything you did in ROH, and I loved everything that you're doing here in TNA right now. When you hear that from someone who literally, I've grown up with you. I've grown up with you. I've been a fan my entire life.
Yeah.
To sit down and have two conversations with you in my life, that's incredible. When you hear somebody say that and how that you've touched their life, you've been in their life for so long, does that make you want to go another 50 years?
Well, I mean, the fact that I keep going is just the fact that I want to, reach out to the goals that I set up for myself when I was a kid, and as long as I can perform to the level of what the elite is today, I'm fine with it. I don't want to hang in there if I cannot bring something special to the table. I feel like I'm probably the one of the you know, most unique character in pro wrestling. And like I said, there's so many layers into it. Like there's so many ways that you can go with it, about it, around it, with it, that I feel like, yeah, it could be a bunch of more years, and why not? But I mean, for me, what's important, like you said, I'm touching, other people's life. I remember when I grew up watching those other wrestlers that touched me, and that I made sure. And I think that's the first time that it's going to be done in Montreal. I don't think never everybody like never none of us or people that are active right now I've thought to invite. I invited every pro wrestler from the past to our show. I mean, everybody that I know that is still alive. Uh, I've called them personally, and I've seen some of them crying because they always left out. Nobody thinks about them, but they paved the way for us,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a big thing for me, because, like when you say have an impact on people, those guys, they had an impact on me, and I want to show them all my respect. And I'm super busy, and this week is like the final stretch. I don't have, like, sometimes my phone can ring like 5-6 different phone calls while I'm talking to you. You know, it's been like that, you know, for the last 2-3 weeks. So I took the time to call each and every one of them and to invite them, like the one that I know, like that I've always been, you know, that they weren't like super huge draw, but they were there in the middle of the card or opener or something like that. So I wanted to invite them, and I think that's the thing that I'm super proud about.
Absolutely. I love that. Absolutely love that. I think that's a great way to end this conversation. PCO, thank you so much. Before you go, can you just look at the camera, give me that French Canadian Frankenstein energy, and just say you had a really cool conversation with Straight Talk, and people should subscribe because we're awesome.
Yes. This is PCO, the French Canadian Frankenstein perfect creation one. What a great conversation with Straight Talk. It's a lot.
I love that. Thank you so much, sir. Peace, love, and wrestling, guys. We'll see you next time. Peace. Thank you so much for checking out our channel. If you like what you saw today, please feel free to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss any of our future videos and content. Also, you could follow us on all social media platforms. On X at _Straight Talk. On Facebook and Instagram at Straight Talk Wrestling. On TikTok at Straight_Talk_Wrestling. And of course, you could follow us on Podbean,